Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learned over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking you through some houseplant updates on things that I've done, experimented with, plants that I just maybe haven't spoken about that much in a while, and just let you know what is going on with them at the moment. I know some of you have been asking about specific things within videos that I've mentioned here or there and that I haven't revisited in much detail, so I hope that this video is going to cover quite a lot of it. So yes, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So the first couple of updates I want to give you are in my little propagation area that I've recently set up. I did change this to a grow shelf, I think a few months ago now, and I had lots of plants here. But I think doing it this way just means that it looks neater, and it means that I can keep all of my propagation stuff kind of contained in one space. I've got my other propagation cabinet there as well. But yeah, I've got a few exciting things going on here that I will show you. But firstly, this is just a random update, and I only noticed this morning. My philodendron silver sword that I've got at the back here, as you can see, its two main leaves are starting to yellow and die off ever since it started giving me new growth. And I'm not quite sure why that's happening, but I'm just going to trim them back and hope that the plant continues in a much better way. But I'm firstly going to get my anthurium seedlings out and just give you an update on those and let you know how they're doing. So I obviously tried lots of the seedlings in different ways, and here I've got the ones that I did in perlite, which are doing something. I haven't done a huge amount. I've got the ones that I just planted into soil, which are very slowly starting to sprout. And these ones were the ones that I don't think I actually put this in the video. I know I have spoken about it in other videos since, but because I had a few left over, I decided not to actually take the kind of squidgy outside of the berry off these ones and just put them in and see what happened. And I was a little bit worried that they might rot, but obviously they haven't, and they are growing. But the ones that I'm excited to give you the update on are the ones that I did in the light versus the dark, just so that you can see a difference in them. And I personally think the difference is pretty huge, and I'm pretty excited about it. So these are the moss ones, and these are just the damp kitchen roll ones. And obviously, as you can see, the kitchen roll hasn't done as well. It's probably not optimum for anthurium seed propagation. But these ones here were the ones that were germinated in just normal daylight, as I would usually do, normal lighting conditions. And these ones are the ones that germinated in the dark, and you can just tell they are doing so much better. I think the moss ones are an interesting one to look at, because this is my go-to substrate for seed germination in anthuriums usually. And although these ones are doing well and they are all doing things, they just don't look as well established. They don't look quite as healthy as these ones. And my worry was that these ones would get quite stretched and leggy. So what I did is, as soon as they started to sprout and produce leaves, I moved them to identical lighting conditions. The only difference is that these ones started in the dark and these ones didn't. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens with them. I'm actually kind of thinking that these ones might be ready to be potted quite soon. They've got a decent little root system going on in there, which actually you can't see brilliantly in this light. There we go, look at that. That's a beefy root. So yeah, from now on, when I do grow anthurium from seeds, I'm definitely going to be starting the germination process in the dark. And personally, I'm going to be using sphagnum moss just because it has worked so well. But I haven't had any failures, I don't think. There's some that are still taking a little bit of time to get going in there, but I'm just leaving them be for now. I'm keeping them on my prop shelf. They seem to be getting on fairly well there, and I will just continue to keep you updated with them, and fingers crossed I'll have some beautiful full plants soon. But there's also, I'm actually going to go into my prop box here, because there is quite an exciting update in there that I want to share with you guys. Something that I had almost just kind of forgotten about. And it's just suddenly started doing something very weird. Oh, in fact, something even weirder, I can tell just from looking in the box, than the last few days. I'm going to get that out and I'm going to show you. So there's actually quite a lot going on in here, but the one that I'm really intrigued and excited by is this little thing here. And this is a Sauromatum venosum. And I got this as a weird little bulb thing at the plant swap 6 months ago. I'll put in a clip of what they look like then. And these next ones I am really intrigued about. They're little bulbs, and the name is, I had to write it down, Sauromatum venosum, and they're commonly known as voodoo lilies. And again, if I can find a picture, I'll put it in, because oh my goodness, they look absolutely crazy, and I've never seen anything like it before. And I just popped them into my prop box, and look at those roots. I did notice a couple of months ago that it had started to root, but now obviously something very strange is starting to spring up. And I'm really intrigued about this plant, because I'll put a picture on the screen of what it looks like when it's kind of fully formed. It looks so weird and alien-y. And as I say, I've never really seen one before. I've definitely never seen one in person. But already just today, you can see the beautiful kind of stripiness on the stem starting to form. It's almost quite similar to like an alocasia stem, like an alocasia zebrina or something like that. But yeah, I can see a little leaf starting to unfurl there. So I will definitely keep you updated with this. I don't know if anybody knows, then please do let me know down in the comments below. But I don't know if this is a plant that, like an annual, I don't know if it's going to die back. I don't know if it will, I don't know how it will respond if I take it out of the prop box now. So I'm just kind of leaving it to do its thing. There is another one in there somewhere as well, another one of the little bulbs. And I don't know where that is. So I'm guessing that maybe hasn't started doing anything yet. But yeah, that really excited me, because it's just been sat in there for the past 6 months, not doing anything at all. And I'm really, really intrigued by it. The temptation to try and help unfurl that leaf is really great, but I won't do it. But yeah, I will continue to do updates on this one, because I'm super excited by it. And something else that I'm really excited about is that I've just set up my little IKEA mini greenhouse, which is essentially just like another little cabinet. Emma was ordering one of these from IKEA a while ago, and she said, oh my goodness, they're in stock. Do you want me to get you one? I gave her the money and she very kindly ordered me one. And I saw her this weekend. We did some filming things together, and I set it up and I absolutely love it. At the moment, I've just rested some kind of cheapy Amazon grow lights on top. I just kind of wanted to see if I liked it in this position first, and I do. So I think I probably will at some point wire it through and stick them to the top there. But I can open it up. It does actually, oh, if I can do this with one hand, it does have little hooks so that you can, oh, can I do it? Okay, there we go. So that you can open it if you want to get a little bit of airflow in there. But I've currently just put some Tradescantia cuttings propagating in water at the back, just because I wanted to have some plants climbing the back of it and hide that plug. And I think they look quite pretty there. And then I've got my Anthurium silver in there. I only set this up literally yesterday, so all of these plants might change, but I've put my Anthurium silver in there just because I love the colour and the texture of the leaves, and I know it needs more light than the position it was in before, so I feel like this is going to be perfect for it. I've got my little Macodus patola jewel orchids, my, oh, what's this one? The Martianum, Philodendron Martianum, also known as the Philodendron Fat Boy. We potted that one up because it was just propagating in moss. Me and Emma potted that up, and that one's gone in there. I've got some pothos cuttings, and then one of my little Maranta lemon limes, which I am just loving at the moment. It's always been a plant that I really like, but I feel like it's back on, like really seriously back on my favourites list at the moment, because I just think the colours and the textures and the pattern of it is just so beautiful. So yeah, I'm really excited about my little greenhouse. I think these are currently, I think I'm right in saying they are still out of stock, but I'm pretty sure they'll be coming back because obviously they're really awesome and they just look really nice. But what I'm thinking of probably doing is getting a shower seal and just running it along all of the gaps, because at the moment when you close it, you can see it's a little bit wobbly. I know apparently some people have been using magnets to kind of stabilize the door a little bit more, but it has got quite a few gaps, so you couldn't really keep it airtight, completely airtight if you wanted to. And I know when I was speaking to Emma about it, she was saying, but what about air circulation, airflow? Do you not need a fan in there? And I was saying to her, actually, in my propagation cabinet in my bedroom, I haven't run a fan in that since I moved in here, which was about 5.5, 6 months ago now. And I've actually had no issues, although I still do run fans in my big main cabinet over there. I don't think it's an absolute necessity if you are opening and closing the door a lot, which I feel like I probably will be with this. I also thought I could make it into a little herb garden and have all my herbs in there for cooking. So yeah, that's a thought, but I think it looks lovely. It just acts as like a lovely little lamp on this side of the room, because I don't actually currently have any lamps in this room. Grow lights are what I rely on, and I just think it looks lovely. It was also only, I think, about £16, which I don't think is bad. So yeah, very excited about that. And then coming over to my main cabinet, I wanted to just give you an update on my slightly sad looking Anthurium regale, because this is one that obviously wasn't really doing anything for a very long time, and its newest leaf is just looking, I mean, it's looking like this. It's far from perfect, let's just say that. The fact that it is now giving me growth is really encouraging, and it's got some fantastic roots in there. So I'm hoping the next leaf might be, oh, in fact, is that the start of a new leaf? The camera won't focus, but I think it could be. That's very exciting. But this is one that I've struggled a lot with thrips, along with all of the other host of issues that it's had. And I did actually find some juvenile thrips on it the other day. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking then, why is it back in your cabinet? I've actually had thrips in my cabinet quite a lot recently, and I've got the biological pest control sachets in there, and I've just received some more, so I'm going to be updating them over the next few days, giving everything a good wash down with horticultural soap, and then I'm hoping it should be under control. But currently, this is what she's doing, this is what she's looking like. I'm very excited that yes, it definitely is the start of a new leaf. So I'll let you know how she gets on. But I thought I'd just give you an update on her because it's been a while. She's not looking her best, but she also, I think, could be doing worse. So fingers crossed for her. I'll let you know what happens next. And this is a weird one, but I thought I would just kind of let you know what was going on with this. This isn't exactly an update, but I've decided, this is my Hoya Wilbur Graves, I have decided that I'm going to try growing it on a moss pole and just see what happens. I had it in a cloche down here, this little thing. I had it in that for ages, and because the humidity was so high in that, it started giving me some fantastic aerial roots. And I've never seen someone growing a Hoya on a moss pole before, and I just kind of thought, like, considering the growth that I've had in some of my other plants when they're able to absorb lots of micronutrients, maybe it would get it to really size up. So I know it doesn't look fantastic at the moment, but it's just kind of a little experiment, and I'm intrigued to see what it does. So yeah, again, we'll keep you updated. But then coming down to my Philodendron Splendid, this is the one that I did the chop and extend on fairly recently. Its new leaf has just unfurled, and it's so gorgeous. It seems to be doing really well on its new pole. Again, it's still, I don't think, has much of a root system in the soil, but all of the roots that it's got supporting it in the moss pole are what's keeping it going. And one thing that made me really excited is when I took off the cataphyll from its new leaf as it was unfurling, as you can see, it's got 2 growth points here, and I'm pretty certain that's not the start of a flower. Like, it looks quite kind of furry and rigid and bumpy in the same way as this one does. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be another new growth point. Also, if that was a flower, I feel like it would be coming directly from the petiole, and this seems to be coming from the main stem. So oh God, if this plant was to just continue to fill out and become even fuller and bushier, I would be so happy, because it's one of my favorite plants at the moment, and it's making me incredibly happy. And then next to it, I've also got my Monstera dubia. I feel like I don't really need to give you a huge update on her because I've spoken about her in virtually every single video recently. But one thing that I will give you an update on is the section of growth that I lost, because obviously over there, I've got the bits of the plant that I chopped from, which in fact, very quickly, is already starting to give me a new growth point, which I think is just crazy because it's only been a couple of weeks since I made the chop. But the one thing that I will give you an update on is the bit that I chopped that was attached to the plank, and that is this section just here. And I was really worried about losing this bit because I've said before, when you do kind of detach it from its plank, sometimes it can be very hard to get it going in any other substrate. It essentially kind of puts the roots into dormancy. But as you can see, it's rooting really beautifully in there. So I think this one's going to do well as well. And that just makes me unbelievably happy, because I was at one point almost kind of convinced that I was going to lose this leaf. And obviously it is a beautiful cutting. So yeah, I'm very, very happy about that. Also, this is just turning into a houseplant tour now, isn't it? But my red coral cactus at the back of it, I've just had it in that window box for ages. Look how pinky it's going. It's looking so gorgeous. Very, very dehydrated at the moment and does need a water. But I just thought that colour was stunning. So yes, right, that is what is going on over here. And the next update I wanted to give you, please excuse the repotting mess from earlier, it's on my Alocasia portadora, and this is one that I haven't really done much updates on recently. This is the plant that used to be almost like double the size of me. It was the one that was in the background of all of my videos probably about a year ago when I was living back at my mum's, and I chopped all of the sections of it right back and I overwintered them. And I gave a couple away, and I've kept this one back for myself just because I know how big it grows. I didn't need 3 of them, but I've actually, as you can see, put it in pon, and I've put a few things in pon. I'm getting really, really brave with this, but it seems to have responded really well. It's given me 3 fairly decent sized leaves already. And as you can see, it has got another little one on the way just there as well. And I know that when this plant kind of kicks into action and gets going, it grows ridiculously quickly. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going to keep it if it carries on growing at the same rate. I also know that it is capable of surviving all year round. Like, I've never fully chopped it back before. I just did it this year because I was struggling with thrips and spider mites, and it was covered in pests at that time. And I just thought it was easier to start from scratch. Sorry, I've got my dishwasher on. If you can hear a very weird sound, then that is what that is. But yeah, unless I absolutely have to, I don't plan on chopping this plant back again. I'm just going to see how it gets on. But for now, I've got it on my little plant stand there. It's getting fantastic light. I feel like it's in kind of its optimum conditions. It hasn't given me many issues. I'm still very wary about pests for this plant because I know that Alocasia can be an absolute magnet for pests. And I do definitely have pests in my home at the moment. So I'm just keeping a very close eye on it, but I think it's doing really well. I'm really happy with how it's doing. I also wondered if I should have planted this a little bit lower, if maybe I should have used a taller pot and got that fully under the soil, but I just know when corms start to rot, that is usually the end of the plant. So maybe, in fact, maybe I might air layer this section and try and get some more roots going and then consider potting it. I don't know. What would you guys do? I just know that air layering wise, I know I said I did it with my variegated Alocasia Frydek recently, which is putting out the most beautiful new leaf. And I did air layer this one, and then I potted it much further down, and it's done so brilliantly since I did that. So maybe I would consider doing it with my portadora, but I'm just not quite sure yet. Also, I know I did include this plant. This wasn't part of this video, but I did include this as part of one of my favourite plants of the month in that video. And I said that it was giving me a new leaf and that this one was showing no sign of dying off. And usually at this stage, the Alocasia leaf would be yellowing and it would be getting ready to die back. And as you can see, there's no sign of that at all. So again, in pon, maybe I'm kind of thinking I might have finally struck the right balance and it might finally be gonna give me some lovely growth without doing the weird Alocasia cycle thing. So yeah, again, I'll keep you updated, but just look at that leaf. It looks super, super variegated. And if I could get this one big, I would just be over the moon. So yeah, again, another one that I'm gonna continue to give you updates on. And then finally, this is not so much an update, but I have got 3 new plant cuttings that I'm really excited about. Me and Emma basically did a mystery plant swap for something that's very exciting and is coming up soon, but annoyingly we're not allowed to share details about it yet, so I will absolutely let you know when we are able to. But Emma brought me firstly a philodendron cream splash, which is obviously very, very similar to the philodendron Brazil, but its variegation is all white. It's just really gorgeous. It's also got a very unusual leaf shape compared to the philodendron Brazil. Like, it's a little bit wonky and weird, but I kind of love it. So I'm super excited about that one. And then I'm pretty sure this one is a Syngonium frosted heart. And if you're on my Patreon, then you will have seen when I went to take care of Emma's plants when she was away on holiday. Oh my God, what a mission that was. But this is the one plant, the one Syngonium that I just fell in love with. And as you guys know, I'm not massive on Syngoniums at the moment. I just don't know why they're not really doing it for me. But this almost has more philodendron than Syngonium vibes. Like, even if you just feel the leaves, they feel a lot more rigid. It obviously hasn't got that classic arrowhead shape, and it's got a beautiful new leaf just unfurling at the moment, which looks like it's going to be absolutely huge. So yeah, I'm really excited to watch this one grow. I think I'm going to get it on a moss pole straight away and try and see how much I can get its growth to size up, because yeah, to me that just does not feel like a Syngonium. But then lastly, one of the things that she gave me is a plant that I've wanted for such a long time. This is an incredibly generous cutting of her fern leaf cactus, and it's kind of similar in structure. If I take you over, it's kind of similar to the fishbone cactus, but obviously it's a lot it's a lot wider. It's a lot kind of, I want to say more foliagey. Does that make any sense? It's not quite as condensed and, I don't know, rigid in its structure, and I think it's just beautiful. The reason it's leaning out of the pot like this at the moment is just because I haven't watered the soil yet. I think I'm probably going to propagate it in soil, but I was just so happy with that one because I know Emma's just got an amazingly big one, and it's one that's been on my list for such a long time. I just love jungle cacti. So yeah, I also gave her some plants, and I think I gave her pretty nice things and nothing that she currently owns. So you will see at some point what they are, because we have done a exciting plant swap for something upcoming. But as I say, I will keep you in the loop with that. I will let you know. But for now, those are a few new little additions to my collection. So those are all the updates that I'm going to do for this video. But if you've got other things that you've been wondering about and you would like me to come back and cover again soon, then please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, give me some updates on your plants. Let me know what's going on in your collection, the good, the bad, the ugly. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.